Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the Real Deal Talk studio. Round 2, Epic 60 fighter interviews. I have never been more excited to interview a fighter from Epic Fighting than this guy right here. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. He flew in from Arizona specifically to be on the show because he knows what's up. And I basically told him, bro, you got to get in here, and I'm going to give you the average time I give a fighter for Epic Fighting is usually 10 to 15-minute interviews, okay? Those are the parameters that I was given anyway when I first started interviewing for Jason and Harvey at Epic Fighting. When they first called me kind of in a pinch to fill in, I said, what the heck am I going to do in 10 to 15 minutes? Because normally my podcasts are hours long. And they said, dude, I said, you know what? Let me do it because look at it as a challenge to pull gold out within 10 to 15 minutes. And I'll tell you what, it's been the most incredible journey for me. And I couldn't be more proud or honored to be a part of these fighters' journeys and lives, just to be able to reveal their story a little bit, to get people to kind of connect with them. And before the fight, then they actually know the fighter, and the fighters then get the chance to get themselves out there and get their story out there, because we all have a story, ladies and gentlemen. So my job in this world, what God has put me here to do, is really just to kind of dig in and reveal people's testimony so they can get it out to the world, to hopefully inspire some people that have either gone through some stuff or going through stuff to realize, oh, wow, I'm not the only one struggling right now. And so when this guy right here, I actually reached out to him specifically directly on Instagram to get him in here so I could go longer. So they're going to I told Harvey and Jason, I'm going to go an hour and a half with this guy. So ladies and gentlemen, dig in. If you want to see the full interview, you're going to go to their YouTube or Real Deal Talk YouTube. By the way, I volunteer my time to do these interviews. So if you want to support my show, if you like what I'm doing here, go to Real Deal Talk, subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch all the other ones and all. I'm on iTunes. Everywhere, Spotify, you name it. But ladies and gentlemen, let me come back to my guy here. He's this guy. I'm telling you, this guy. He first got my attention in Epic 58. And let me just interview him real quick. Let me just introduce the name here. His name, ladies and gentlemen, is Antonio Rosales, a.k.a. the Last War Chief. Sir. First and foremost, welcome to the show, bro. Thank you so much for taking the time, getting on a plane to come in for this interview. I'm honored that you're here. I'm honored to be able to do this interview to kind of reveal your story. I told Antonio, I said, remember what I said? I said, you've got a story to tell that I feel people need to know. So today we're going to dig that out. And getting back here. So, and again, going back to what the whole thing here for the premise is, these fighters, I've become a part of their life, and they all have stories. So, Antonio, Last War Chief. Let's start there. Let's start with the nickname. Where did you come up with the Last War Chief?
The Last War Chief, Fedor Emelianenko was always my favorite fighter, the last emperor. And when I was looking for a name, I mean, he was like the first person that came to mind.
Yep.
Not necessarily for the name part, but just as a fighter in general. His whole aura, his whole attitude, real humble guy, quiet. Just really gets down to business, and just that little, the last at the beginning of that name, kind of adds something to it.
Yeah.
And I obviously had to incorporate, something that had to do with my background. So the Last War Chief is what I came up with, and people have been liking it ever since.
I love it. And what War Chief? What's the background you have?
I'm Native American.
Native American. Okay.
Tohono Nation.
Nice.
Nation, Oglala Lakota Nation.
And right now you live in Arizona. Are you?
Arizona.
Okay. And you work full time?
Yeah, work full time. I'm actually working out in Republic, Washington right now.
Oh, wow.
So getting here, I came from Republic, Washington to Arizona, spent some time there, saw my lady for the day, and got on a plane, got back over here.
And yeah, you just got recently married, am I right?
Yep, back in November.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice work, man.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's go back. When did you originally start any type of fight? Well, sorry, how old are you now?
I'm 29 years old.
29, okay.
Old man in this.
Yeah, old man in the sport, for sure. When did you start any type of fighting, and what was it?
I think I first went into an MMA gym probably in like the 7th grade.
7th grade.
7th or 8th grade. I want to say 7th grade.
And where were you living then?
Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Tucson, Arizona my whole life. I didn't leave Tucson, Arizona until it was time for college.
And your family's all out there too?
Everyone's out there.
Right on.
Yes, sir.
And then, now were you fighting before? I'm going to take a big fat guess that you were fighting in school.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I just had a guess.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. So at what point did you realize that you were kind of a fighter? At what age were you like, man, I can kick some ass?
Probably around that time where I actually stepped into a gym. I don't think I had stepped into a gym yet, though. So this is going to kind of go off on
no worries,
I guess.
Let's go.
So I didn't always live on the reservation.
Yeah.
We lived off of it, kind of close. And I wasn't going to school on the reservation for like elementary or middle school or anything like that. So I made the decision in like the 5th grade, let my parents know I want to go to school on the reservation. I don't know, I guess to try to be close to my people, I guess, because I didn't really, know too much about even my own background at that time. And I just wanted, kind of a different change. So I ended up going to school out there, and it turned out like really bad for me. I was bullied a lot.
Really?
Yeah. I was bullied really bad.
Why were you bullied?
It didn't help that my mom was a tribal cop out there on the reservation. So that probably could have had a lot to do with it. Yeah. But other than that, a lot of the like bullying used to be like I didn't look like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess like the natives where I'm from, they're more darker complected. You know what I mean? You look at them and you're like, oh yeah, you're native.
Right.
I feel like when you look at me, it's kind of like Mexican.
Yeah, it could be Mexican.
White, I don't know what's going on. A mutt,
Yeah.
So it's kind of along those lines. And yeah, I mean the school, the reservation was just a different life. I had no idea. I didn't know what a blood and a crip was. I didn't know what a shank was. I didn't know none of that until I got there, and they're letting me know this and that. And I'd go home and be like, Mom, Dad, what's this? They're like, why?
That was on the reservation?
That was on the reservation.
Bloods, Crips?
At a Catholic school, at Santa Vera Catholic School. Yeah.
At a Catholic school?
At a Catholic school.
That was happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it all boys or co-ed?
No, it was co-ed. Yeah. I was getting beat up by girls, too.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, bro. You're kidding me.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And so did you
number on me mentally as a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you fight back? Were you a good
No, I mean, so that's the thing. When I started out real young, I felt like I was kind of soft.
Yeah.
I didn't know too much about the world. I ain't never been exposed to an environment like that before. Yeah. The elementary school that I was coming from and the community that I was coming from was, kind of tight knit, majority Mexican.
Yep.
We all played the same sports together at the ballparks and all that. So I don't know, it was just a completely different world when I went out there. And, yeah, like I said, I wouldn't get picked on. I wouldn't really fight back. I was scared, And then one day I just got tired of it and ended up throwing a wild punch while getting jumped and connected. And down goes the kid, and he starts arms seizuring up. And the 2 other kids that were jumping me with him kind of just like stared at him, stared back at me. I stared at them. I looked at my hands like, okay. I was like, all right. Well,
isn't that crazy?
This is a new thing, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And ever since then, it was kind of like, all
that
right,
was it. Because that's all it is, bro. Is when you hit somebody and you affect them big time, you're like, oh wow,
it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah, you're like, I can do damage.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. It's the best feeling in the world.
And because then what that did is it timid. The other guys were like, oh shit, this guy. We're not messing with him anymore. Did they mess with you anymore?
I mean, they still did.
They still did.
The kids were a lot older. And that's another thing, too, is like once they found out I could fight, it was like, okay, it wasn't just the kids in my age or like a year older anymore. It was like, oh, they can go get their brother or their cousins that are like in high school already picking on a, 6th, 7th grader for whatever reason it is.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it. It was a lot of fun.
and then you're like, okay, let's fight.
Yeah, basically.
From that point forward.
From that point forward, it was like anybody who wants to smoke, I'm all for it.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why I brought him in here, because let me go back to your fight in Epic 58. Now that you're bringing that up, the reason I love interviewing all the fighters, but you specifically, I never had the chance. I'm like, I gotta interview this guy because there's something going on with this dude. Because I saw you in Epic 58. I'll never forget. I was coming through the lobby to check into my table, and this mountain of a man walked by me, black guy. Must have been, 6'8", 6'9"?
Greg, the beast.
How old is he? How tall is he? 6'9"?
Yes, they said he was like 6'8". He's a big dude.
6'8". He walks by me, and he was so big, like the room got dark because he blocked the lights above. Yeah. And I thought to myself, okay, he's just security because that can't be a fighter. Like, I'm like, I didn't know Epic had like actual security guards here. Like, this dude is ridiculous. Like, there's no way he's a fighter. There's not a weight class or anybody on this planet that would want to get in a ring with that dude. That's my thought process, right? So then we get to where it's coming up to the, was it it was the final bout, right? Was it the main event? I can't remember.
We were the co-main event.
Co-main event.
Sure. And
then I realize its last war chief is fighting this guy. And I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Who would step in the ring with this psycho? And then, dude, when the bell rang, you freaking destroyed this guy.
Sure.
He went running at him and started flailing with combinations that the guy had no idea what to do. He couldn't do anything. You went nuts, and I could not believe it. It was crazy, dude. I'm like, this dude is freaking nuts in a great way.
Yeah.
Because did you know going into that, like, in order to get this guy, I'm going to just have to go ballistic. What was the plan? Did you have a plan? Because you just went nuts.
No, ever since, so my very first fight that I ever fought, I lost. And I think it was just like a mindset of.
What age group was that?
Age group?
What age were you in?
I was 27 at the
time.
Oh,
wow, okay.
My very first fight.
Yeah.
Going on 28. And, I lost that fight. And I just remember, like, thinking to myself, like, well, like, you didn't have no type of mindset going into that fight. You were kind of just like, I'm here to fight. And, like, for me, that was the problem when I went back and analyzed, like, why am I there to fight? Yeah, this is the fight game, but when it comes to stepping in the ring and getting in there with an opponent, I'm not there to fight you. I am there to beat you up. I was going to say something else, but we on the radio show. So
you're fine. You can do it. This is your show.
I got you.
You can say whatever you want.
But yeah, it just, none of that fighting, none of that letting you think or letting you fill me out. It's just, and another thing too, I mean, you've seen the body type. I ain't trying to be in there for too long. So it's going to be either me or him. I mean, that's the mindset going in there. It's like, we're not there to fight. We're there to mess each other up pretty good.
Oh my gosh, I was shocked. Did you see the video of this, Andy? Oh my gosh, bro, I couldn't believe it, dude. Because I never seen a bigger man in person in my life than this guy.
I mean, that's another thing that played into it too. The guy was so big that I knew, like, don't get touched by him.
Yeah,
do not get touched by him. I mean, it's his fists. I mean, I got some pretty big hands, but his fists were like the size of my face.
Oh, easy. They were like crazy. Yeah. That's why. And then I remember my table is right near the ring where they come in. So he was standing next to me getting the stuff, the cut guy where he does all the stuff. And he was standing next to me. And I'm like looking up, like, I'm like, holy shit. I would never even get in a ring near this guy. Yeah. And then here comes last war chief. Absolutely annihilated him. Sure. He couldn't keep you off him. Mm-hmm. Anyway, okay. This was crazy. Okay, let's go back now. Back to 6th, 7th, 8th grade. You started to love to fight. Mm-hmm. So at this point, at any point were you like, hey, Mom, get me out of this elementary school. I can't handle this. Or you're like, or she's like, hey, you chose this. What was the mentality?
Yeah, no, I ended up leaving there. Like, I had to leave. It was pretty bad. Like, my mom especially didn't like, what was going on over there.
And that's after you actually started fighting back. Then you left?
Yeah, I mean, when did I leave? I think I left in like the 7th grade.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember that happening and then being like, all right, finally, like, I got some confidence now. Like, I'm ready to fight anybody and all this and that. But, like, so much had already went on at that middle school and just, going home and being the soft kid that I was. And my mom didn't like it. So we ended up getting out of there. But, I mean, I still hung out on the reservation. Like, I mean, that's home always. So, I mean, the grandma's house is home base. So, always over there, always at the recreation center. So, when I left those schools, I mean, it was even better because I wasn't seeing these kids at school anymore. I was seeing them out in the open, out.
Then you could actually fight.
Exactly. It was a lot more fun. The Santa Vieja Recreation Center is where we got down at a lot.
A lot.
Oh, yeah.
So would they just come up to you? Would you come up to them? Like, what was it? What was the daily?
Natives are weird, man. Natives, they just takes a look. You know what I mean?
Just
you
a
don't
look.
Even have to say anything to each other. You just takes a look, and it's like, all right, start taking everything off. That's just how it is.
That's how it is.
Yes, sir.
And so you became kind of like a target, so to speak, meaning because they knew you could fight. So when you're the best or the whatever, the champ.
I was a target to begin with. I think just off of being, I guess, soft. I guess I don't like to call myself soft, but at that time, like looking back,
it's hard to believe for me that you were soft at one point.
I had really good parents. I had a really good background.
But this is why I'm digging in, because I really want to know your story, where you came from. Like, how did this happen? Like, when did you turn into a psycho that loves ripping people's heads off?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I needed to get into. I'm like, where did this come? How did this happen?
Yeah.
How do you go?
I mean, the fighting thing, you know, that's different compared to like football, because I've been a football player my whole life.
Okay, we're getting into that. Yeah. Don't jump ahead on me.
I got you. I'll let you go.
Yeah, don't jump ahead, because I've got a whole line of questions to dig in on San Diego State.
Got you.
Because I've heard
a little nervous.
No. Because I've heard rumors about you. I can't wait to dig into that. All right. Let's go back. All right. So you step into the MMA gym. Why'd you go to the MMA gym? Because you realized you needed a little bit more training.
No, actually, my older brother, he was a fighder.
Oh, he was.
He just started fighting one day. He was a really good football player. He was a really good quarterback, free safety. Could have went played college ball, but you know, we're brothers, so we like to fight and do other stuff other than just football and being a student athlete, you know.
Yeah.
So once he was done with football, he just got right to it with the fighting.
Oh, he did.
And he didn't have no fight background. Nobody else in our family has ever fought, so he was like the first to do it. And my older brother, he's my older brother. I never left his side. I was, you know, he's 10 years older than me.
10 years.
But he took me everywhere with him.
Wow.
Yeah. So he ended up.
He got you into it.
Yeah, I forgot how he became friends with our trainer. Our trainer is Joey Boom Boom Rivera. He was on Tough season.
Yep, I remember him.
7, I believe.
Yep.
But yeah, Joey Boom Boom Rivera. He's our coach. I don't know how he met my brother, but when they met, I met Joey, and Joey was like an older brother already to me. As soon as he saw me, he was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get you fighting." And I was excited. I was like, "Yeah, of course, I would love to fight." And like my parents didn't really know about it at the time. He just knew I was going with my brother. Yeah. But they like specifically said like, "We don't want you fighting. Like you're not gonna fight." Like,
your parents?
My parents.
They're
I come from a really good background, man. My parents are
great parents.
Great parents. Yeah, great parents. All they wanted me to do was play football and go to school. They didn't even care about the football part. They just wanted me to get an education and, you know, be able to be a good, you know, man and handle my business.
And when did you get into football? Like what? Like earlier, were you playing Pop Warner right away?
Pop Warner right away.
Right away.
Like, I mean, flag. Like it's
flag.
Yeah, it started early.
Yeah, I'm a flag coach. I coached my son since he was in 6 years old, in kindergarten playing flag football. So we're making our way up to the ranks here. Nice. He hasn't requested to go to Pop Warner yet, so I'm like, okay, cool, fine.
What is the age limit now for? Because I remember flag was like basically like 5 to 6 years old, and then after that it was like you're in pads.
Flag goes from 5 through 8th grade.
8th grade.
Yes. So there's a 7th and 8th grade division.
Wow.
So and then I don't know if you've heard this or not, but flag football is now in high schools, right, Andy? Like it's a high school sport.
We're living in a different time.
Yes. Or I think it might even is it middle school, but I know there's actually. Yeah, like girls, the girls' flag football is a thing right now.
Okay.
It's coming up. Anyway,
That's good.
Anyway, the league that I'm in, it goes all the way through 7th and 8th grade. So a lot of the kids, what they'll do is they'll play flag in the intermediate seasons, and then in the fall they play Pop Warner. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing now. You know, and okay, so let's see, so what age did you start Pop Warner? You think 8, 9?
No, like 7.
Was it 7?
7, yeah. I remember playing Pop Warner. I was always like a year or two younger than the guys I was playing with, because
When's your birthday?
They had weight limits at the time.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't had nothing to do with the birthday.
It
had everything to do with the weight limits at the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was on the opposite spectrum of you. Like they had to like put rocks in my shoes for weigh-in to make weight.
That's how my older brother was.
Yeah.
He was a stick.
They literally had to put stuff in my girdle. Like that's what you wear around here, you know, with your pads. Yeah. They had to put weights in there for me to make weight. Yep. And then the big boys like you, they were like sweating it out. Oh, like, yeah.
Like I never even practiced in Pop Warner. It was just like,
just
run.
That's you just ran.
Yeah, you know what to do. You're an offensive lineman. I was always offensive lineman or the defensive lineman. Yeah. So they were just like, we tell you to block left. We tell you to block right.
That's it.
Don't worry about anything else. Just go lose weight.
Wind you up, point you in the right direction, and off you go.
Basically.
And so were you big already in 7th and 8th grade then?
I mean, I was bigger than you know most of the kids that was in my grade and all that. I wasn't a monster compared to like the other guys at the Division I level, and
oh yeah,
stuff
and
like
you're what 6'5", 6'4"?
About 6'4".
6'4",
Yeah.
okay. You come in about 300 or so.
Yeah, I walk around at about 295, 300.
295, 300, right on. Okay, so Pop Warner, and you loved it right out the gate.
Oh yeah,
loved it.
Loved everything about it.
Loved it. So then you went Pop Warner to. So this is where your fighting started. Talk to me when you got to when you first got to the gym, the MMA gym. What did you like right away? Like, what was your favorite part about it?
Man, it wasn't even the gym. Shout out to Joey Rivera, because I saw his whole come up.
Oh wow!
Before it actually became a gym, he was renting out like a high school wrestling room, and he just grab a group of guys and they'd show up and they'd just basically beat each other up.
That's it.
That was how they were getting down at the time. It was just like they were just beating each other up. And it was pretty cool. Like every now and then, like legends like Don Fry would show up and teach like a wrestling class, or teach ground and pound and stuff like that. I don't know how Joey Rivera had all these connections, but I mean, he knows a lot of good people in the fight game. And I mean, just the pure violence and realness of it. Because I mean, football is violent, but it's not, in my eyes, I guess it's not, I would say, real. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
It's not. It's just nothing like fighting is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Fighting, are actually your goal is to really hurt someone and take someone out.
Oh yeah.
Whereas football, it's kind of the goal too, because you love hitting people.
Not anymore, because towards my later years of, especially at the college level, like it was starting to get to that point where like my style of play was just like, it wasn't.
Yeah.
The refs weren't dealing with it no more. Like it was flags left and right. I was always getting kicked out of games because it's too aggressive.
Don't get too deep.
Sorry,
into
I keep going. All right,
this is where we're going here.
Take it back. Sorry about that.
Oh, I can't wait to get there. But I feel you, because you look at the NFL back in the day and the hits that people used to give and take, bro, were psychotic. Yeah. Now, if you even hit somebody when they're not looking, it's like a flag.
That's what I'm saying.
And I get it, because the guys definitely are stronger, bigger, and faster now. There's no question about that. So it's really dangerous. However, that said, it's definitely changed. Yeah. Okay, so you went from so you started training at the gym. Were you doing what was your favorite part of? Was it did you do jiu-jitsu? Like, did you start studying everything, or just mostly stand up?
I mean, like I said before, my parents, they weren't about it.
Yeah.
So like I really had to like almost kind of sneak over there. And if they knew I was over there, it was like, don't do no fighting. Like, you could do the little training part and all that and hit pads and stuff, but we don't want you, teeing off on somebody or letting somebody tee off on you. So I had to go around those boundaries.
Yeah. Would you come home with bruises on your face and like bloody noses, and they'd be like, "What?"
No, that's what they didn't want.
Right. Of course, that's what I'm saying.
And I was, whatever my parents said, it went. I wasn't that kid to go against my parents and all that at the time.
Oh, that's nice.
Whatever they said, I listened. But it had to be the striking. Like, I've always just loved striking, standing up and just slugging it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's always attracted me the most. But yeah, I mean, we learned everything. I mean, Joey was teaching us everything: jiu-jitsu, ground and pound, Muay Thai, boxing. He's throwing everything in there. Like he says, this is MMA.
Right.
Like, whoever asks you, like, what are you practicing, you just tell them MMA.
Which is everything.
Arts, everything. Yeah.
Everything.
Learn to beat people up.
That's it. No matter what. Wrestling, takedowns, striking.
No matter where it goes, you're ready.
So it's crazy to me now that I'm kind of doing the math here, that you started then, and then your first fight wasn't really until your actual first fight was like 20
years old.
Yeah, 20 years later, 15 years later, give or take.
Yes, sir.
So were you training have you been training in the same gym the whole time? Are you still there?
I've never left Joey Rivera. I've never went and trained with anybody else. But, because of my job and life choices and stuff, like I don't really train like I should, or like anybody else does.
Because the fighters that I'm interviewing are training 5, 6, 7 days a week. Like I'm talking 2, 3, 4 hours a day.
Yeah, that's not me at all.
Because you don't have that option.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm 29 years old, going on 30. I got a wife. We want to have kids.
Yeah.
We don't want to be at our parents' house. We're actually getting ready to build a house right now.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just trying to get my foundation started.
Yeah.
And, the whole fighting thing is just kind of like an escape from real life, I guess.
Yeah. It's an outlet.
I would absolutely love to just focus on that and make it my, thing, but there ain't no money at it.
Yeah.
There ain't no money in it at this level, at least.
Right. Correct.
I just don't have time for that.
Yeah. And to go the long route to where there actually is decent money, it's a long, not to, stop your dreams, but it's a long route, man. Because you're either you got to go all in.
Oh, yeah.
Like all in. Like these fighters are 3, 4, 5 hours a day.
Yes, sir.
7 days a week.
Yep.
I don't know how most of them are able to do that financially. It's crazy to me. So case in point, with you working, how many hours a week do you work on the average?
84 hours a week.
84. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the last war chief, he works 84 hours a week.
Sure.
And still gets his training in and steps in the friggin' octagon with 6'8" freaking mountains like it's nothing. Like it ain't nothing but a thing. All right, go back. Let's see. Let's go to football. Let's do the transition of football now. You got into Pop Warner, then you went into high school.
Yes, sir.
Was the high school like couldn't wait for you to get there?
No,
they knew about
actually,
you?
they didn't know about me at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And this is now, you're not on the reservation now in school, right? You're off the reservation.
I'm off the reservation.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So when you got to high school, what happened?
I went to Tucson High Magnet School, which is like, it's a magnet school. It's right in the middle of downtown Tucson. It's one of the biggest schools in Southern Arizona. Football team wasn't very good.
Yep.
They never really had a winning season. And when I got there, at least where I'm from, there's a lot of like I guess you could call it politics.
Yeah.
Like each high school has a pool of Pop Warner teams that goes to that high school. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the Pop Warner team that I played for didn't go to that high school.
Got it.
So when I got to that high school, everybody was like, "Who are you?"
Right.
Yeah, like I wanted to play varsity like right off the gate, but like they just didn't let me. They didn't know who I was.
And you probably could have.
Oh yeah, I definitely could have.
Yeah,
for sure.
When you got to high school, 9th grade, how big were you? What was your size then?
Probably maybe 6 foot.
So you hadn't even like done a major growth spurt yet.
No.
Wow.
Not at all. Yeah, but I was just like kind of like more
stocky.
Yeah, a little. Not even
we
stocky.
over 200 pounds, 220.
Yeah, I was probably like at 200.
At 200,
just a little over.
Okay.
My freshman year.
And freshman year, guys, that's big. That's big.
A little bit, yeah.
You want to know what I was in freshman? Did I ever tell you this, Andy? I was 5'7", 107 pounds as a freshman. I'm not even exaggerating here. 107 pounds, and I played football. The coach was like, told my mom, I don't think I can let him play. She was, let him play. He'll be fine. I was just psychotic. I literally was psychotic. Like I would just release my body and try to kill people.
Oh, yeah.
At 107 pounds.
Oh.
I know.
Football is that sport that you could be that way other than fighting.
Correct.
It's the closest thing I feel like.
There's nothing better literally in the world if you're a man is playing football than just freaking lighting somebody up on defense.
Love it.
Ugh. I loved it. Anyway, okay, 200 pounds, 6 foot. When did you get to like 6'3", 6'4"? By junior year, you think?
Probably going into junior year, like sophomore year going into junior year.
And so freshman year, they wouldn't let you play varsity. You were a lineman at that?
So I got moved up at the end of the year.
You did, okay.
To play varsity. It's like finally somebody took a little notice and was like, why isn't that kid, on varsity?
And you were a lineman, offensive and defensive line?
Offense and defensive line.
Yep. And
on the freshman team too, they actually only had me at defensive line.
Huh.
Like I didn't agree with what was going on, but yeah, they just
politics.
They only had me at defensive line when I was specifically like I'm a left tackle. Like the quarterback will not be touched if I'm at left tackle, and they had their guys. You know
they had their guys. Yeah, a little politics. It's juniors and the seniors.
Yeah,
yeah,
and sophomore year I didn't have to worry about JV or nothing. I went straight up to varsity.
That was it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so then high school, at what point, because I know you played for state, so at what point in high school did everybody realize, oh, wow, this dude's, something's going on here. He's a really good player and can go on to college?
After my sophomore year, that very first varsity season,
yeah.
I started getting like letters, like a lot.
Oh, really?
From all over.
No way.
Yeah.
What was the main reason? Were you just lighting people up?
Yeah, probably just my aggressiveness. I feel like that's all I had. Cause I was bigger than most kids that I was around, but this is Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah.
It's the majority, Mexican.
Right.
Kids aren't very big.
They're not that big. No.
Yeah. So like if you saw me compared to like the Phoenix kids, I look like
Yeah, small.
I'm small compared to those kids,
Yeah.
you know. So that's all I really had going for me was my aggressiveness, I feel like. And yeah, I mean, I was getting a lot of letters from all over.
From colleges?
Colleges right after my sophomore season. I think the first ones were Oregon State, Duke.
Do you have a lot of sacks when you were defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, I had a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then offense, you were just nobody could get to the quarterback on your side.
Nah, nobody.
Never.
And if we ran the ball to my side, like we were getting 5 yards plus a play for
Easy.
sure. Easy.
Easy. Wow. Okay, so then junior year even better. See, give me the trends, the progression.
Junior year, yeah, it was obviously better
Because then you got bigger.
I got bigger. We actually ended up getting a new coach that year, and this new coach was like locked in on getting guys to the next level, and he knew that I was one of those guys. And I mean, even without him being there, I already had gotten myself some recognition. I wasn't sure. I didn't have too much of a relationship with that varsity coach at the time, so I don't really know what he was doing for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was his doing or my doing, getting those letters right after my first varsity year.
Right. Yeah.
But when Coach Argraves came in, once he came in, it was like coaches pulling me out of class. Like, hey, this is so-and-so from North Dakota State or San Jose State or, you know, stuff like that. Like pulling me out of a classroom.
Yeah.
Like just making me look like the man on campus, you know?
The big man on campus. Where people like all the kids wanted to know, then they wanted you as their friend. And were you popular at that point?
I wouldn't say popular, but like amongst like the sports people.
Yeah.
Because it was such a big school, man. It was,
okay.
You had too much going on. Like, the school was so big, you saw somebody new almost every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So like in the sports community, it was, oh, dude, like, they wanted to see the letters. They knew it was up. Sometimes I didn't even know I had letters, and like other people would come up to me like, "Oh, did you get your letter yet?" Like, no. What are you talking about? Like, yeah, because our coach, he had our little, you know, if you got letters, he'd have them right outside of his office, so you check them, you know, every now and then. Ain't nobody was looking for them for the past decade, so it was a big deal.
Yeah. And then, so what weight did you get in junior year? The 220, you think?
Oh, yeah, probably like 225.
And then senior year, you get up to like 240?
Yeah, senior year, I was probably like 240, 245.
240, 245. Okay, so then at what point, state, where did state come into play? Like,
state actually came in my junior year. San Diego State, they were actually like the people I heard from the most. They were on me the most, I guess you could say. And a lot of it had to do with, at least my personal opinion is what I think of the situation is, a lot of it had to do with Coach Osai Lewis. He was the defensive line coach here at State at the time. He actually went to my high school. So I think that's how it had a lot to do with it, knowing that, you know, he kind of had a understanding of where I was from.
Yep.
He was from Tucson. He necessarily wasn't from the reservation. I think he was maybe from the west side, I believe. I wasn't from the west side a lot.
Yeah.
I was from the south side. But I mean, he was the one that was on me the most. Like, he really pushed for me to get here to San Diego State, and I appreciate him. I appreciate him every day for that. Love Coach Lewis.
That's great. All right, so then then you're in senior year. He's still all over you. He's still trying to recruit you.
Yep.
Did you your senior year, how much did you dominate on both sides of the ball?
Oh yeah, I was doing what I had to do.
Were you getting like any all-state recognition? Like, what kind of recognition?
No, I think I only got like maybe an all-city. I don't even think I made first team, to be honest with you. Yeah, I couldn't finish a game.
You couldn't finish a game?
Finish a game. I was trying to fight everybody.
All right.
Yeah, flags left and right. You know, my coach knew.
This is in high school.
Yeah, my coach came to the point where like Coach Argraves was like, if we're up, we're taking you out because I don't want you to get kicked out and have to miss quarters of the next game, because he knew how I was. Like, he'd want me to go into the locker room early. Like, sometimes it was like, don't even go shake hands, like, because I know what you're about to get into. It's like, all right, like. Yeah, I was that kid. I was the crash out, unfortunately.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. All right, so now we're getting there.
Yeah.
All right, so when did that start, when you were just like, since even in Pop Warner, were you like that?
Oh, yeah. Like, that was just...
did this stem from when you were on the reservation getting picked on all the time, and then you just had a chip on your shoulder?
No, it's not, because like I said, like, the whole picking on and the whole actually, like, experiencing the reservation for the time wasn't until, like, the 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't even live on the reservation during that time or the time before. So, like, football was just my first love, and I guess I was just always an aggressive kid. be on it in the football boundaries.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know nothing about fighting. You know, fighting is real life. Like fighting, we're not on a playing field with
Right. Pads and refs
and all that and rules. You know what I mean? So I didn't have that other confidence outside of football. I feel like that's how a lot of football players are. A lot of football players they probably think they could fight and they think they're the toughest thing in the world and they run their mouth, but it's like, bro, you're a football player. Like if this wasn't football, you'd be out flatlined right now. But
and so in high school, like literally, what would happen? This would be the guys you're up against. Like you're up against their tackle blocks. You just get into it every game.
every game.
And what kind of penalty? What were you doing that get penalties?
Either just playing dirty, running my mouth, giving them a little extra. I'm not the one to let stuff slide. So like,
If they hold you,
not even holding, but just that like little extra shove.
Yeah.
Like after, like,
right.
You know,
We
like,
see it all the time.
That's an automatic, like straight to the jaw. Like, yeah. And like refs, they don't play that. Yeah, I was getting into it with players, coaches, parents. Like it was ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Even parents?
Even parents.
Parents from the other side?
Parents could get it too, yes.
Oh my gosh.
It was bad.
It was bad. So tell me what give me the state coach again that was recruiting you, the guy
Osei Lewis.
Osei Lewis. Okay,
What? Osei.
Osei.
Yeah.
So now was he saying, "Hey, if you come to state, you're gonna have to turn it down a notch a little bit"? Was he saying that?
Yeah, definitely. Like they all knew what they were recruiting, you know. And I mean, even when I got to state, like they would have the sit downs with me, like, "Hey, man, like you're gonna have to tone it down while you're here." Like, it was understandable.
And what'd you
like,
say?
we're at a high
Okay.
level. Yeah, like yes, sir. Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
No problem. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, yeah.
No problem. Then the first quarter of the game, he's throwing rights, he's throwing crosses. Yeah. Oh my gosh!
But I look back at it now, and I'm just like, I really wish I wasn't that kid. I really. I look back at it now, and I'm just like, bro, you wasted so much time, and like it was it. Like
you regret like kind of being over the top with the violence.
I regret it. I regret it.
Interesting.
I regret it. Yeah.
I think but I think though, if you as your life plays out, Antonio, I believe that what's going to happen is, because everything always happens for a reason in your life, and the worst thing ever is to live with regrets. And I think the way your life's going to go here, whatever's going to happen in the future with your wife, your kids, and your family, I think you're going to look back and realize it happened for a reason. Like that you were that way for a reason, and what it did is it put you on a trajectory in your life, a certain trajectory that wouldn't have happened if you weren't that way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does.
Because you were so violent that, and we're getting there now, San Diego State, I can't wait to dig deeper here, but because of your violent tendencies, what if you didn't have that? What if you went to the pros or went on? Where would your life have gone? That, who knows? Injuries, I don't know. But the point is, you know, let it kind of flow. But it's interesting that you right now have regret for being that kid.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of which, okay, so now you go to San Diego State. Tell me about your first year. Tell me about the locker room. Did you get into it with any of your teammates in like in training camp when you're vying for a position? I know how that goes when you're fighting for a position.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
mean, like freshman year, especially freshman year. Freshman year was eye opening. Like I thought I was a football player, and I got to the Division I level and realized that like, dude, like these kids are coming in like at my position, like for the offensive lineman, kids are coming in at like 6'5", 300 plus.
Yeah.
I haven't even hit 250 yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I thought I knew football. I did not know football. Like I had to actually learn a playbook. I had to learn, if you see that guy moving this way, what is this guy doing? What is that guy doing? What does it mean if this guy's coming down? What does that mean if this guy's coming down, this defensive lineman, which way is he going to go?
Yeah.
If that linebacker steps 2 steps that way, where's this guy going? You know what I mean? Like I never thought of football like that. And then I got to the Division I level. I was like, oh, it's way more complex than just telling me to go hit somebody.
Yeah,
in that
hit
direction.
that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So how did you adapt?
I mean, I want to say I locked in, but I didn't lock in. Freshman, sophomore year was horrible.
Really?
Yeah, horrible. I wouldn't say that I wasn't a good student. It's just like my mind wasn't on there. You know what I mean? I was on my own for the first time, like San Diego, California.
Oh yeah.
On a full ride scholarship.
And you had a full ride?
Full ride scholarship. Yes, I would not go to college if I didn't have a full ride. I would have done the job that I'm doing right now, right out of high school.
Right out of high school.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. So the first couple of years, so were you having a little fun with the San Diego?
I was having a lot of fun.
A lot of
I
fun.
was having a lot of fun. Yeah, my mind wasn't, at least on the books, that's for sure, because I was having a lot of trouble when it came to school. Football wise, you know, that was the whole fun of it all. So I never really had a problem there. I would get into it with like teammates and stuff, but like nothing ever too over the top, you know, just practice scraps.
Yeah.
You know, nothing too crazy. There was a few locker room scraps, but you know what happens in a college football locker room. Don't leave it. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? So I can't get too much into details about things like that, but it did happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bound to.
It's quite common,
Too many different personalities all in one place, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially vying for a position, especially you being the young buck coming up. You've got guys that are older that got a spot that hear you're coming after it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole thing. All right. So then when did you kind of lock in? Was it junior, senior year? Were you kind of locked in?
Yeah. So I don't know if that was.
No, were you starting
rumors.
at all? Freshman and sophomore? Were you starting in varsity?
No, not at all. I redshirted my freshman year, so like I knew I wasn't playing freshman year.
Yeah.
Freshman year, it was like, I mean, I was 240 coming out of high school.
Right.
Like it was like, we got to get you big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and they were trying to get me big.
What did they do to get you big? They just get you in the weight room, feed you a ton of food.
Just feed me a ton of food. Yeah. Like that's all it was. Shout out to Coach Hall, because I mean he was on top of it. He got me there. You know.
What did he get you up to?
Like freshman year, I think I got up to like 275, and I hit like I could not go up after that. No matter what I did, it was like 275. Like my coach was even telling me, the strength and conditioning coach was like, you're probably not an offensive lineman. Like I hate to break it to you, but like you're not getting any bigger. Like we'll try to get you there, but like we're doing everything we possibly can. You're not getting any bigger. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, I just like I said, I got to 275 and just stayed there. You asked me like when did I actually like lock in?
Yeah, lock in.
Yeah, so you keep saying you heard rumors about me. I want to know if this.
Well, the violence. It was the violence.
Well, yeah, definitely.
But what's the other one you're thinking about?
I got kicked out of San Diego State.
Yeah, these are the rumors I heard.
Yeah. Like sophomore year, the beginning of sophomore year, that sophomore fall
of the
season.
actual, not the team, but college itself.
College itself.
Why?
Team, yeah, it started off with like a team suspension. It had to do with my grades, and then a little bit of the extracurriculars, the stuff I like. Just
partying.
A lot of nonsense. Didn't help that I failed the drug test at the time. Yeah, marijuana was bad back then.
Oh yeah.
Now they could smoke all the weed they want.
Exactly.
Have a blast doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had to smoke and be paranoid about it my whole college career. You know.
Yeah.
I should have just stopped, but I guess I didn't have the discipline at the time.
Yeah. And so sophomore year, you got kicked out of school.
Got kicked out. Yeah, like they kicked me out, sent me home. I ended up going back to the Pima Community College. Yeah, just to keep my credits up, and like I didn't really know what my next move was. I ended up talking to the football coach over there, like, hey, I just got kicked out. Like I need to start playing somewhere. He was all for it. He was like, yeah, I mean, we'll be glad to have you. And just shortly after that, I think it was Utah Utes. They ended up reaching out and was like, hey, we heard you're not at State anymore. You know, we want you to come over here and play for us. And I think once they found out, like State ended up showing back up at my door, like, hey,
oh really?
Like, if you want to come back, we'll take you back.
Uh-huh.
Like, you learn your lesson. I was like, yes, I learned my lesson. I don't want to be home. Take me back. I'll straighten up. And they fortunately, shout out to Coach Rocky Long at the time.
Yeah.
Not giving up on me, giving me a whole second chance. It wasn't even a second chance. He likes to tell people that, I gave him a second chance. He gave me like a 10th chance.
Yeah.
Like, it was big shout out to him, because I wouldn't be here today without him,
Oh, that's great.
I wouldn't have got my degree, wouldn't have got the playing time that I did. Yeah, I mean, when I got back to State, man, I was focused.
That
I
was
locked in.
That was coming back like into junior year then?
Yeah, coming back into
Junior year, did it feel good to be back?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So then you locked in
everything. I felt like I lost everything. Everything that I worked for as a kid, everything, I was just back home at like 18 years old with nothing going on anymore.
Did you feel down? Were you depressed?
Oh, man, it was horrible. And like, especially like everybody, from school seeing you, like, what are you doing here? What happened?
Yeah.
I was like, I messed it up. And they're like, damn. Yeah.
Oh, but man, the coach came and gave you another shot.
He did.
That's crazy.
I appreciate him for it. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So going to junior, senior year, how did it go? You locked in?
Junior year, I ended up starting my junior and senior year. Senior year, I was
And were you lineman?
Yeah, I was a guard.
Okay,
right
guard. Okay,
yeah,
guard.
Played right guard. I ended up getting my weight up. I was sitting around 295, 300.
Oh,
finally.
beautiful.
Yeah. Finally learned the playbook. Took me forever, which is bad because San Diego State, we didn't have a hard playbook. All we did was run the ball straight down people's throats at the time. So, once I locked in, everything went smooth, man. Everything went smooth. Yeah, I was having a blast. I was living out my dream, playing college football as a starter. Senior year, I was fortunate enough for the team to make me a captain.
Oh wow, no way.
So it was a good time.
Oh, that's great. Now let me ask you this: how was the fighting? Did you back off a little bit?
I toned it down.
You toned it down.
Yeah, I toned it down. I had a few incidents like off, like on campus, like at parties and stuff, but I was able to get out of there in time. Yeah.
Before it got too messy.
I was a lot smarter about it. Like I was trying to, like, this time I was trying to do everything in my power to avoid the situations, but once the switch flipped,
it's hard to.
Over with. Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
And so the partying, did you tone that down?
Oh yeah, I wasn't about that no more either. And another thing that helped out with that is my girl graduated from Arizona State in 3 years. So after her third year, she moved out there with me.
Oh wow!
For my last 2 years, so, like, I was really able to focus up, especially having her there.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have to worry about cooking meals or nothing. Like, she was all over it.
Wow.
She was a really big help.
And this is the woman you married?
Oh yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, I've been with this girl since we were kids. I mean,
when did you originally meet?
We met our freshman year of
high school. Did you start dating then?
Nah, she went to a different school. We met at a friend's birthday party. A friend that I had in middle school. I didn't even go to high school with her. I just found out she was having a party. I don't even think I was invited. I just showed up.
Yeah.
And I saw her and I was like, shit. I was like, my whole life. So like my dad was like, yo, like, if you got a goal, if you got, this and that, like, a woman is not it. Like, don't worry about girls. Don't worry about that. Like, just focus on football, school.
This is your dad.
Yeah. And I was always like, yeah, for sure. Like, I've never cared about girls or like nothing like that. Like, and I saw her and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. That went out the window.
Yeah, all of that went out. I was like, yep. Like, this is probably the one.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, yep. Turned out she was the one.
Incredible.
We got together our junior year of high school. Been together ever since.
Wow. So she's been on this journey with you.
Oh yeah.
Well, how let's shout out. What's her name?
Jessica.
Jessica. So shout out. Give me some. How much has Jessica been there for you and since you've been together, like going through all the stuff like you went through with state, going through all the trials, the tribulations? Tell me how much she's been there for you and how much she means to you. Like, could you have made it through without her?
Oh, I mean, she's my rock.
Yeah.
She's my foundation. She's everything to me. I mean, she's seen the good, the bad, the ugly. She's stayed with me at my worst. And that's my biggest thing. When I was, like, depressed or whatever you want to call it, from, not making it to the league and trying to figure life out after football. You know what I mean? That was extremely hard. Like, not knowing what to do, not knowing what the next step was after football was done. Like, it was pretty sad. Like, it was a very ugly version of myself that I don't like to think about or like talk about, but like the good thing about that is like that woman was there for me. Wow. Yeah.
And now talk to me about, are you saying after college? So what happened there? Like you were crushing, doing it, but you didn't go on to the next level.
No, I didn't go on to the next level. I got hurt my senior year.
You did?
Yeah, I got hurt. I had to miss like almost half the season. And then when I came back.
What injury was it?
Left ankle injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, left ankle injury. I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't make it to the NFL because I got hurt. Like, there's plenty of guys that get hurt still make it to the league. So, I was an all right player. I guess I could say I was more of a leader than a good player. I would say. I mean, I didn't make it to the league, so I got to say that now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I played in the arena leagues.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah, I played in the arena leagues after college. With hopes of getting a bigger opportunity.
Correct.
But nothing came of it.
Was it fun though? Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the best headspace. So like all that fighting and stuff that stopped in college, like came back.
It came back
to the arena
Oh,
leagues.
it did?
Like the time that it shouldn't have. So I feel really bad for what I did in the arena leagues because shout out to Coach Guy of the Arizona Rattlers for giving me all the opportunities that he did, because he gave me a lot of opportunities and I like basically just
screwed it up.
Yeah. And he's a really good dude, but like I feel like every time I'm around him or if I see him, I just like put my head down like, man, I'm sorry. Like,
oh man.
Yeah. Because like he started one of the he owns and coaches the Arizona Rattlers, but then he started a new team in Tucson, my hometown. And I was the first one of the first locals to play on it.
Yeah. Like
the opening season. And we had a good opening season and stuff, and I didn't get in too much trouble. Like I was known for being a menace and all that, and fighting and all that.
Yeah.
But those next years, it was COVID year. We were supposed to have a season, but the season got shut down.
Yep.
So then the next season after that, I left on a really bad note.
Oh, you did?
On a really bad note. Yeah.
Fighting?
Yeah.
On the field?
I put hands on a referee. It was bad. Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh, geez.
And I still got an opportunity after that.
Wow.
So Coach Guy still gave me an opportunity after that, and I went and screwed it up again because I just couldn't keep my temper. Like I just, I couldn't. After college, like,
did you ever go back to the ref and apologize?
No, they wanted me to. I was like, I couldn't. I don't like those refs. I don't apologize for that. I don't feel bad for that at all.
Yeah.
I actually like that. I
lit him up,
slapped the shit out of him. Yeah.
Would you just smack him?
Yeah.
Did he go down?
No, he didn't go down. It was an open hand slap.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to prison.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. That takes him off.
Oh my! It takes him off it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so then where did it go from? When did you say, all right, I'm done with this, the arena?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't making no money.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because they don't pay at all, right?
No. I mean, they give you I don't want to sit here and say that they don't pay you at all, because they give you the opportunity to keep paying and to they give you the opportunity to get another opportunity from a higher level. You know what I mean? So I don't want to sit here and say they don't pay nobody, because they take care of you. You know what I mean? You're taken care of. But like, I'm 25, 26 at the time. I got a woman that, is making her way. I don't want her, holding all the weight financially. Like it just really came down to that. Like I'm broke. I'm 25, 26 years old. I'm broke.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be this way.
Right.
I'm broke. I don't like that. Like I feel like it's the biggest disrespect to yourself when you choose to be broke.
To stay broke.
Yeah, to stay broke.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it anymore. So I ended up working little jobs here and there, like security jobs. I couldn't really find anything. They say go get a degree and everything will be all right. That's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true. But yeah, and I ended up getting into the job that I have now, and we made good money and sold my soul ever since.
Sold your soul?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Sold my soul. I mean, 84 hours a week.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Like I work out in Republic, Washington, like right on the border of Canada. Like
wow.
14 days straight, and then I have 7 days off, which is really only like 5 days off because travel days.
That's true.
Yeah. And then the schedule before that at my other locations was actually 20 days on, 10 days off. That was a lot better.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and what exactly do you do?
days.
Tell us about what you do every day of your job.
Yeah. So I'm an underground exploration driller. So we work in the mines, thousands of feet below the Earth's surface.
Wow.
On a core drill. Yeah.
You're thousands of feet below the surface.
Yeah. Down
every day.
Deepest, darkest depths. Yes, sir. Yeah. Like I'm actually like 5 shades browner than what I am right now. Like naturally.
Yeah.
Like this is the whitest I've ever been in my life.
Because you're out of the sun.
I don't see the sun at all. Yeah. Like at all.
Yeah. Wow. Holy cow. Yeah. And this is all, so you're in the Washington right now.
I'm in Republic, Washington right now. Yeah.
And you were able to get off for the fight.
Yep.
And so when you're working this much, let's come back to the fight stuff here. By the way, any other coaches you want to shout out? And because I know it's been a long time, because you've never publicly talked about any of this, I'm assuming. Is there any coaches you want to shout out or say, hey, I appreciate what you get. I mean, you already shouted out like 5 coaches.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure we don't leave anybody out.
Oh, no, I get you.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like anybody that's time, like that you never were able to say anything to them, that you want to say something to them now.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
You just, Justin Argraves, my high school coach, thank you for everything. Like, I feel like if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have got a lot of the looks that I did, because I feel like a lot of high school coaches, they got to do their part in that, in the recruiting aspect for their players. And he really did that for me. I mean, I already gave him a shout out, but he knows I love him forever. Coach Long, Coach Lewis, Coach Schmidt, Coach Hall. I mean, every coach I had at State, man, they were great to me. They gave me all those opportunities. You know what I mean? Like they all say, like, hey, it's we give kids second chances around here. They gave me the 10th chance. Like I had, But then I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to give them shout outs. Yeah. Because Coach Dixie Wooten, who was my arena coach at the time, I appreciate everything he did for me, and I am terribly sorry for how everything played out, because I feel like I just messed up those seasons with my actions. And I also want to give a shout out to Coach Curtis Chin, who is actually like the one started stirring the pot in my head of like, hey, like, stop letting people, affect your actions so much. He told me something that stuck with me, and I wish I would have heard it. I'm sure I heard it before, but I just didn't listen to it until I was a grown man. But he told me one time after, messing stuff up, like, hey, I get it. You don't let stuff slide and stuff like this, but don't be a slave to other people's words and actions. Yeah. And ever since he told me that, I was like, damn, I've been a slave my whole life to other people's words and actions. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that was my whole downfall. It's because of that.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So big shout out to him for making me realize that. So any other coach that I missed, they know who they are. Yeah. They know their role that they played in my life, and I appreciate them for it. So if I missed anybody, I apologize.
Yeah. That's interesting that you react that way. But listen, bottom line, bro, is you're still, I know you think you're old for the fight game now, but you're still freaking like a kid, 29. That's crazy. So this is so common to be in your 20s and just be stupid and do stupid things, right? It's just like the shit I did, bro, when I was in the military in like 1920, and then when I get out, I lived in Pacific Beach. I was in the nightclub industry in my 20s. Oh my gosh, it was awful. I was a punk. Like, oh man. Anyway, the point is, I wouldn't beat yourself up too much, because it's part of life and growing and evolving. If you don't evolve, then you have a problem, right? So if you're not evolving, evolution's everything. Evolving in your life, growing in your life, striving to be better, striving to provide. You and I, men, we're here to protect and provide. Period.
Yes, sir.
Job number 1 and job number 2. They start there.
Yes, sir.
Protect and provide. That's it. So that's what we owe, the world, God, our women, our wives, that, anyway, I don't want to get too much on a tangent here, but this is a fascinating story. And I love that you're shouting these guys out, because it feels good I'm sure it feels good to do that. Because maybe along the way, when you're in the heat of the battle, quote unquote, and going through all this trouble, probably didn't get a lot of chances to do that. So it's awesome. Okay. So now we're coming full circle to fight. So now this whole time, are you still training in actual MMA fighting? Or just football?
With the job that I have right now?
No, through the whole football.
Oh, through the whole football, it was nothing but football.
Nothing but football.
Yeah, it was nothing but football. Like, I wasn't even thinking about fighting. Like, I always told myself, like, after football, if football fails, like, I'll go get the ring. Like, it's it's gonna happen.
So when did you?
Yeah, I was just focused on football. I wasn't doing none of the fighting.
Got it. So when did the fighting start back up?
Like 27 years old.
27 years old.
Once I knew football was done, like all the arena league and like trying to make it still and all that. Once I knew that was over with, I was like, it's time to fight.
And what gym did you get back into? Same gym?
Same gym. Apex MMA. Joey Boom Boom Rivera.
So you went right back in
there for me. Yeah.
And wifey, I'll call her wifey since she's wifey now. Jessica, she was okay with that. You getting back?
She don't like anything about this. She don't like anything about it. I keep her away from it. I don't talk.
She's not going to come to the fight, I'm assuming?
Come to the fights.
She doesn't watch
them?
She
doesn't want anything to do with it, man. Oh, no. She doesn't want anything to do with it.
Will she at least watch this interview?
Maybe.
She's got to, Jessica. Yeah, hopefully you watch this. Yeah. Jessica, because your man's shouting you out big time. Yeah. Oh, man, she wants no part of this?
Yeah, no part of it.
No part of it.
She doesn't like violence. She doesn't like that. I wouldn't say
Which is ironic, if you think about it.
I guess
because she chose a man who's extremely violent.
It's like, woman, you knew what you were getting yourself into. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I always say.
You didn't know.
Yeah, you chose this.
Yeah.
You did. It's not like you didn't know. It's like you were hiding it.
Exactly.
Like there's no way you can hide.
Nope.
No, nope. She chose this.
Oh, you chose this.
So then 27, you get back in there, right? And then how quickly before you had your first, was Epic your first fight in an octagon?
No, it was Rise of the Prospects in Tucson, back home. Yeah, I trained for like 6 months, and I was like, yeah, just give me a fight. Like, I'm ready. Joey already knew I could fight, so he's like, yeah, we'll get you a fight. Got it lined up, and it was just a disappointment, man. Like,
that's the one you lost?
I lost, yeah. It went 3 rounds into decision. It just turned into a wrestling match damn near. I just got out grappled, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
But a learning experience.
Oh, yeah, definitely a learning experience.
You got to think about it, because starting there, that triggered everything. Because you're like, oh, shit, I can't let that happen again. This is, right? Did it then spark you to go a different route of?
In a way, like, it was more of like a, like, yeah, I lost, and it wasn't, I didn't have the mindset of like, all right, like, I got to take this seriously now. Like, I was still so caught up in like, dude, I'm 26, 27 years old. I'm broke.
Oh, wow.
I am broke. You know what I mean? I'm living with my mom and dad still. Like, this is not, I always said to myself, like, after 18, no more mom and dad. So still living with them.
So you're in your head about that.
I was so in my head about it. I'm still to this day, like, when I'm at work and I start telling myself, like, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to do this job. I'm like, you have to. You know what I mean? That's,
you have days where you say, I don't want to wake up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You don't want to wake up and do this job every day. 12 hours, 14 hours a day, underground. Just with a bunch of dudes.
Bunch of dudes. It'd be different if it were women.
I guess. I don't know.
Right? If there were women there, maybe, I don't know, bro. I don't know if that'd be different.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it matters who's down there with you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where... What? All right. So fighting. So then you got your. So it was after that fight. What happened? What did that spark from there when you lost your first fight?
Yeah, like I said, like, I was just so focused on working and all that. So I went and worked, and that's all I was doing. And yeah, I was making money, but like, man, like, it was really hard for me to just, like, I guess, keep my cool. Like, I was just like, I just wasn't in a good place, like, mentally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, naturally, like, football was my outlet the whole time.
Right.
And like, in football, like, it was borderline fighting.
Correct.
Anyways, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, yeah, it was just, you know, being out in public places, like, it was a lot more irritating just being around people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was starting to get to a point where it's like, I gotta go lock myself inside the house, like, or else I'm gonna go to prison.
Wow.
I can't stand people. Yeah.
That's interesting. So people just irritated you.
Yeah. I get irritated very easily.
What do you think?
It's a really annoying trait to have.
This is still that we are still that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What irritates you think about people?
The selfishness, there's no common courtesy no more. Everybody's just very about themselves and in their own world. You know what I mean? I don't know. A lot of stuff just irritates me. Like I said, it's not a trait that I like, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does your wife think about this?
Oh, I mean, you know, she obviously don't like none of it, but it's like, woman, you knew what you were getting yourself into.
Yeah.
You know?
Is she like the opposite of you, like super nice?
She's the complete opposite. We're complete opposites, man. Like, culturally, just everything.
She's the sweetest person ever.
Yeah. Sweetest person.
Nice to everybody.
Nice to everybody. Everybody loves her.
Everybody loves her.
Yep.
And then here's you, the last war chief.
Everybody feels like they got to tiptoe around me, which they don't. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's the vibe sometimes. Like, hey, man, relax. Like, I'm not gonna tee off on you. You know what I mean?
But they don't know.
Yeah. Just don't look at me crazy.
Just don't look at. Just don't give me the look. That side eye look, like that's it. It's on.
Yeah.
Hands.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro. Okay, so you lose your first fight. You train more. Then what? You took another fight. Talking about that progression from there.
No, dude. Like I said, I wasn't even like training more. Like, I know Joey Rivera. I know he's so disappointed with what I'm doing with my life right now, because every time I see him, I'm like, dude, you need to give up everything and be in here.
Yeah.
And we'll go places.
Because he knows you have that much talent.
Yeah. But my situation, I just feel like I can't. Like, I feel like I'm trapped. You know what I mean? Like, it's just grown man responsibilities.
Yeah.
My money's got to come first. It has to.
Yep.
But yeah. Like,
how much are you able to train while you're working?
Honestly, like, all my training for these last like 4 fights have just consisted of like shadow boxing underground, like at work. Like the guys I work with look at me like I'm crazy. Like, dude, what's with this guy? Like, bro, if I don't do this, like, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like, So, yeah, my training literally just like consists of shadow boxing and like maybe getting a run in every now and then.
Yeah.
But like, I wish I could. I mean, I could train a lot more than I do now. I just don't. I just don't.
And then Joey's like, dude.
Yeah, he's like, you gotta get your shit together.
Which
I understand. It's understandable. But like at the same time, it's like just because I don't train doesn't mean I'm not gonna show up.
Right, of course. Well, we know that.
Yeah.
We know you ain't coming in like cold as ice.
Yeah,
you're
no,
coming in
not at
hot,
all.
dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're coming in hot, bro.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. You're working 80 plus hours. Are you able to cut it to like a normal person and do 40 and then have more time? Is that possible, or is that just not enough money?
I would have to obviously move jobs, and like I just feel like nothing's gonna compare to what I'm making right now.
Yeah.
With the job that I have.
So even if you cut the current job that you're in right now, if you cut that to 40, because I'm assuming that's all overtime, right? Half is your overtime.
Yeah.
Right.
But this isn't something that you could just like, hey, like I only want to work 40 hours. Like,
Yeah.
Don't get like no, like this is your set schedule. Like this is your rotation.
Yeah.
Like there's only a handful of guys, and we're all on this. Like 84 hours a week is your minimum.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So.
And I know that 84 because I put in about 90-ish with my business, but look at my business out there, bro. I'm in air conditioning. I'm around beautiful people that are
you got a great thing going
trying
on.
to get well and heal themselves, and I got music on. I got beautiful lighting, like the complete opposite of your environment.
Yeah.
So 90 hours ain't nothing but a thing on this side of the dirt,
Yeah.
right on the above ground.
Oh yeah.
So wow, that's crazy. But okay, so and wifey, again going back, she does not want you fighting at all.
No.
Not at all. Okay.
Fighting at all.
And so you've now fought. I saw you in Epic 58. We're on Epic 60. So now let's bring this thing full circle to Epic. Let's talk Epic here. Anything else you want to? Anything else life altering that happened along the way that you think was a big turning point in your life? By the way, anything I missed? I normally don't miss anything.
No, I feel like you dug into almost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm too interesting of a person, so I feel
This
like
is very interesting.
All the feel like you got to everything.
Okay, cool. Because normally I go a lot longer, and I go back, I dig even further. Normally I don't, even though this has been pretty long, I still dig further than I normally than this. But I think we covered everything. So okay, now let's bring it to Epic 60. So Epic 58 you fought in. How many fights have you had at this point right now?
Right now I am 4-1.
4-1. Okay. So after the fight that you lost, when was the next fight you fought after that?
Probably
how many months after?
Anywhere from like 14 to 17, like more than a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay. And then what happened on that fight? Tell me about that one.
Yeah, what happened on that fight? I actually fought the opponent that I'm fighing on this card. Israel.
The Lamb.
Bull. Yeah, the Lamb Lion.
You're kidding me.
Bully. Yep, yes sir. Yeah, we faced off in where were we? We on a Marine base.
Yeah.
In 29 Palms, California. That was his first fight, and that was I like to call that my first fight because I took a year off.
Yeah.
After my first fight, and then got back into it. So I like to look at that.
So it's
as
the
my
same
first fight.
guy.
Same guy. Yep. And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that go?
Man, shout out to Israel Bully, Lamb Lion. Ain't nothing but respect for you, sir. His story is amazing. I saw his whole little deal on here.
Yeah.
I was, he's a badass dude. He is a badass story.
Incredible.
Yeah, great person. But yeah, unfortunately for me, in that first meeting, I was able to knock him out in the first round, TKO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it went.
And yeah, it's funny because he's such a nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
He is the nicest guy, dude.
Those people scare me the most, man.
They do, right?
Those people scare me the most. The ones that are just not like. The guy comes from the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
And you heard how he got here.
Exactly. And
like literally walked. Yeah.
It's an incredible story, man. Yeah. Big shout out to that guy.
Right? And wasn't it every single thing he went to jail for a certain amount of time, right? Wasn't that him? Every single time he crossed into a new country, he had to go to jail. Yep. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
For how long? Like weeks?
Like that was the process.
That was the process.
Yeah. To getting into this country. Yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah. Unbelievable. I couldn't even believe what he was telling me that day.
And then the fact that, whatever he's gone through and all that and getting here and, doing nothing but preaching the word of God.
Yes.
That is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying of a man, honestly. Yeah. So definitely not taking him lightly.
No, you should not, because he's not only is he a great fighter, but he's a big dude. He's what, 6'4" also?
Yeah, he's about 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4", probably 260, 270 or so. Yeah, he's probably.
That's definitely the hardest I've been punched too.
What, by him?
By him, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a few days after that just being like,
damn. Yeah. and so then, okay, so Lamb Lion, then your third fight was that wasn't an epic fight though, was it?
The third fight, no. I think the third fight was back to Rise of the Prospects for Tucson. That was also on another base out in Yuma. That was against a man named Dylan Matthews. And we ended up going 3 rounds, beat him with the stand-up. He had to, result to the grappling. Yeah. He was actually, honestly, if I didn't end it in the third round, he probably would have won that fight off of the grappling.
Right.
But yeah, luckily, he had me in his guard. I was able to posture up on him and just start landing bombs while we were on the ground. The ref had to stop it, so I ended up winning that fight. And then the fight after that was epic.
Epic. Against the Mountain.
No, that was
against
Jordan Jones or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Jordan the Juggernaut Jones.
Yeah.
That was an 8-second knockout first round.
8 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was epic 55, 56, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have the fastest knockout in epic history?
I don't know.
That's got to be. How do you beat 8 seconds?
13 seconds. It was something like that, somewhere along those lines.
I'll have to ask Jason or Harvey, see if they know.
It was pretty quick. And then after that was the Beast.
The Beast.
Yeah, Greg Harvey.
Greg Harvey.
Yeah.
What did you think going into that fight? Like when you saw how big this dude was, were you even intimidated at all?
No. I played Division I football. like I was a undersized guard at the Division I level. That's the size of human being that
you went up against
head to head every
day.
Way, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it was nothing to me. It was actually more exciting. You know what I mean? Like I think about it, like, okay, this win's gonna actually look good. You know what I mean? Like
it looked really good.
Like damn,
I was
shocked. Big human being, yeah. And another thing too is I don't really have cornermen for my fights.
Yeah.
Like my last fights have been my family members. I'll just ask them at the last minute, hey, you want to come corner me? Yeah. And the last one actually happened to be my dad. And I wasn't even gonna have my dad there, but I was sick that day.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to drive. So I was like, can you drive me? He's like, yeah. I was like,
this was the last epic fight?
Yeah, this was the last epic fight. And
you were sick?
I was sick, man.
Oh my gosh, come on.
Yeah, I had the flu or whatever.
And your dad was in the corner?
Yeah, my dad was in the corner, and when he saw Greg Harvey the first time, he just put his head down and shook it and was like, son, you are crazy. I was like, yeah, you made me.
I came from you.
I came from you, yep.
He must have been like, are you freaking kidding me? Yeah. Really? You're going to step in the ring with this guy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, unbelievable.
Yeah, he didn't even want to tell my mom.
I will never forget that literally for the rest of my life. That was that moment of seeing this man that big and then seeing you come out and absolutely crush him.
Right.
I mean, you annihilated him. It was unbelievable. He couldn't do anything. You were swinging so hard, so fast on him, he literally couldn't do anything. It was unbelievable. All right, Lamb Lion. Let's talk about the fight. We've got 5 minutes to wrap this up now. Yep. Talk to me about the mentality. Talk to me about your confidence. What's going to happen? What are we going to see from the last war chief coming into the ring in this fight? What are we going to see? Give me a prediction here. Give me the mentality. Give me what can we expect?
Yeah, I mean, Bully knows this about me too. I mean, we talk about it at previous fights. Bro, you see my body type. I ain't trying to be in there for too long. So it's either gonna be you or me, and it's gonna be quick. So you know what I mean? Same mentality as the last fight. I'm coming out swinging. That's just it.
Yeah.
Like I said before, we're not. The mentality is we're not there to fight.
Yeah.
I'm there to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And you're there to do the same, and I'm not gonna let it happen to me. That's just the way it goes. Kill or be killed.
And how do you get angry with the nicest God-fearing man on the planet? How do you doesn't matter.
No, I don't think it comes down to getting angry or anything like that. It's just fighting is, for me at least, there's absolutely zero emotion in fighting. And that's what I think I love the most about it, is because I'm such an emotional human being. Like my whole background, the whole football, losing my stuff all the time. Mentally, I'm, bad, but fighting for some reason is the time and place where I'm so clear-minded. I don't think about anything. Before fights, I'm asleep. Like, they gotta wake me up and be like, hey, dude, you're fighting in like 2 fights. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, all right. Thanks for waking me up. I get the best sleep of my life before fights.
That's like,
I love it. Yeah.
That's like the opposite of a normal human being. Like the complete opposite. Yeah. Right? Complete. You're just chill. Like it's
the most relaxed like I ever get in my life. Like the only thing that compared to it is when like I'm with my woman and it's just me and her one-on-one. Like it's the most relaxed and most comfortable I am. Like other than that, other than being with my woman, like as messed up as it sounds, like fighting, knowing that I'm about to fight, it's like the most calm and relaxed like I'll ever be.
Oh my gosh, this is fantastic.
Yeah, take a peek backstage at the next one, dude.
I'm gonna take a peek.
Drool's probably be coming out of my mouth, but I'm gonna be taking the best nap of my life.
Right before you go to war with another warrior.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I want to keep going. All right, we got to shut it down. We got to shut it down. So wifey will not be there.
No,
not at all. Bro, the more you're talking, the more that you're talking, and I hear your mentality, and especially how calm you are before fighting, you should figure out a way to do this more full time somehow, because you're not old. Just so you know.
I'm looking at the camera because that's for my wife specifically.
Did you hear this, Jessica?
Hear that, Jessica?
He's not old. I'm technically old, 54 years old. Technically, I don't feel old, but 29 is not old. Like you're literally just beginning.
I guess so.
So you know what you need to do.
On top of it, woman, you make money. Like you make more money than I do. I make good money, but you still make more money than I do. Like we could get this thing going.
Yeah, I think you could work it out.
You're gonna get me in trouble, bro.
I know. I think you could.
You're gonna get me.
You're leaning into it though, bro. You're taking this up. Yeah, you're taking this opportunity to jump in too. I see you, bro. I see you. Yep. Listen, Jessica. let's just let him, throw the hands a little bit more full time. Let's see what happens. Because I mean, his trainer said, Joey, how much confidence does Joey have that you could go like far?
He's very mad at what I'm doing right now.
I'm kind of I'm getting mad here because hearing you, how calm you are, that's not normal. Like you need to press into this because that's not a normal human being. I remember when I wrestled one-on-one or boxed, I was a wreck. I wanted to puke before the fight. It was terrible. Yeah. You're taking a nap. Yeah. That means you need to do this.
Like the best naps too. You don't get naps like naps on fight day. Like they're the best naps, man.
Oh. Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you what. Let's make this pact, me and you, since you never have a corner guy. Maybe a fight down the road, I'll be a corner guy. I'll be one of your corner guys. But I'm nervous now. Like I don't want to see. Like and I love the lamb too. This is the problem with me interviewing everybody. I build these relationships with everybody. And I don't want to see anybody lose. Yeah. Like I get I'm nervous before the fight. I'm going to be more nervous than you.
Yeah.
Probably. You're going to be calm, taking naps. I'm going to be on edge. Yep. Because this is my homie here. Seriously, it's all right. So Jessica, getting back to Jessica. I'm kidding. I don't want to. But hey, let's see if we can make it work for a year. Say, hey, baby, give me 1 year. Pull back to part-time work, something that's more normal where you're above the actual ground so you can see sun now and again. And then wifey, is the breadwinner for a little bit. That's fine. You're fine with that, right? No.
I know where it could go. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's hard on my pride too. Is letting wifey just be the breadwinner.
Yeah, but then if you're a freaking world-renowned fighter, I think the trade-off is pretty good because then the payday's coming.
I'll just let you know right now. My girl turned off this like 20 seconds.
She's not even listening.
She's not even listening.
Yeah, she's tuned out. That's okay. So then we can talk about anything. But listen, what it is an investment in you. So let's say not the breadwinner. It's her investing in you because let's say down the road you have this humongous payday when you reach the professional level, whatever it is.
So the worst part about it is like I know for a fact I can.
I know.
I know for a fact that I can.
And you're only 29, dude. I cut a deal with Jessica. I'll be the mediator between the two. Get her to buy in for a year. Say, hey, baby, invest in me for a year. I'll work part-time so I can work 5, 6, 7. Imagine if you trained 6 days a week in the gym. What would happen?
dangerous.
You're already dangerous, and you don't train. You shadow box underground for a couple hours a day, which is insane. You're already extremely dangerous. I saw you beat a mountain to death, pretty much. With no training. What would happen if you were in the gym 5-6 days a week? All right, so invest for give it 1 year just to see what happens. Like, see how much you just completely annihilate people from there, and then, right? And then you get your shot to go pro, right? Look at.
I would love for it to happen, but it probably.
Okay, I'm landing the plane.
Yeah.
All right, so this was great, bro. This was fantastic.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming in. Seriously, an honor, and I can't thank you enough for getting on a plane specifically to come in here for the interview. And this is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to go long. I wanted to dig in. I knew you had a story, a testimony. We got some incredible clips. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see the full interview, you'll go to Epic Fighting YouTube channel, or you can go to Real Deal Talk. And again, I'll reiterate, I volunteer all my time for these interviews. I don't get paid for this. So if you like my show, if you like what I'm doing, if you want to support me and this journey of impacting lives by revealing the testimony of my guests, which is why I do this, to hopefully inspire others to greatness, to make a move, to do something special. Follow my channel, Real Deal Talk, subscribe, go to all my other things, share it, write a review. That keeps me going, because then I know what I'm doing here is actually doing something, so it means a lot to me. The bigger picture of impacting the world in a positive way. So Antonio, ladies and gentlemen, Antonio, the last war chief, Rosales. Tune in, Epic 60, February 21st, Friday. You can actually get the pay-per-view if you're not in San Diego, but if you are in San Diego, you need to get a ticket to this. There's incredible fights. Daniel Reyes is on the ticket. He is a freaking incredible fighter, but if you want to see the most insane fight ever, come see The Last War Chief. Get your tickets. It's going to be unbelievable. Man, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Last War Chief.
Yes, sir.
Real Deal Talk, Epic 60. Let's go. That's a wrap.